connected.
I have a long history of dirt bikes, motorcycles. Growing up as a kid in Nebraska, small town. My neighbor moved in when I was probably about 9 or 10 years old, and he raced motocross, and he's from Europe. So I'd always go over there and check out his bikes and this, that, and if he wouldn't have moved in, I think my life would be different right now, But he introduced me to motocross and jumped into motocross full force, and my dad made me get a paper route to earn the money to get my first bike, and it took me to California. It showed me how to work hard, and I did the supercross, motocross thing, and then that's when me and my buddies started doing tricks on dirt bikes, and we created the sport of freestyle motocross. So that all started blowing up, and Southern Cal was a spot. It was like the spot for this whole movement in the 90s that was freestyle motocross, and I'm just so glad I was part of that. Quit racing to do freestyle, and I quit racing around 99, and I'd won a supercross when I ghost rode my bike over the finish, and I feel like it was cool that I was part of the 90s, that rebel movement, and created this group, the Metal Militia, with a couple buddies, and it was just this rebel group of dirt bike guys. And that's kind of the point where I ran through my 20s, and I had started having kids, and I was like, man, I have to be the right person to my kids. Hayden got so into riding motorcycles that he kept begging me to race. So I eventually took him to race, and Hayden's definitely carrying on the torch for sure. I just feel like there's just things throughout our life that I wish I would have had as a kid that would help me a lot. Speaking of things that I wish I had as a kid was, like I said, the Sena radio system I've used with Hayden. I've used it to help teach him things that, normally I'd have to stop him and say, hey, you gotta fix the turn, you gotta do this, that. With the Sena system, you turn them on and you can talk to each other, and you could have multiple people out there. So if you have a coach, which we've always had coaches around, so coach could be talking, and then I could be talking to Hayden, or he could be talking to me. It just changes the whole game. When you're trying to learn and get better, you need that ability to talk to the student. And I think that's what the Sena system does, It allows you to communicate real time instead of saying, oh, come in, hey, that corner there, 10 laps ago. When he's on the track for an hour, how do we make the most use of that time? It's like you want to keep it a secret because it's such an advantage, I feel like the Sena system is such an advantage, and I feel like, it's going to help us elevate Hayden's game big time, so that's why we use it. The main thing is I wanted my kids to ride motorcycles, so we would always share that. We will always have that together, that we can go ride motorcycles together, and I just think the motorcycle is something that's gonna keep this unity together, besides our family bond, but it's just something cool that you get to share with your kids. Yeah.
Yeah.